Hey, everybody, and welcome back to The Secret Place. Jordan here, and we are going to continue off of our last post that was talking about love. How do we truly love, and what is like versus love? So to like someone versus to love them. And we also talked about love of self and how that is the most important commandment that Jesus said. He said, along with love God above all else, love others as you love yourself. And so we talked about that order of love: God, love yourself, and then you can love others the way that Jesus commands. And so as I was kind of thinking of this next post, and I started thinking about love of self and how important that is, I was thinking, well, what if, that's not always just an easy thing to say, love yourself, especially when we know as humans, we all make mistakes. We all have failures. We all have shortcomings. And so how do you love yourself despite that? How do you love yourself if maybe you never had somebody who built you up, or who told you good things about yourself, or who called out the talents in you and the gifts in you? And you might be sitting there right now wondering, or asking yourself and saying, I have never had anyone do those things for me, and I don't love myself. And that is a very true reality for a lot of us. And so God's really been speaking to me about that. And he kind of, I clearly don't have all the answers on that. That's a really big topic, and it's going to affect everybody differently. But one place where he did say to start is with giving of yourself. And this is actually, it really makes sense when you take the time to think about this. So if you think about a life, okay, and you think about all of our lives as human beings on this earth, we are designed to give in some capacity. I mean, as long as we are living, as long as we are breathing on this earth, we are giving of ourselves in some way. Our life is affecting every single person who we come in contact with in a day, and it is having an effect in some way. And so we're either using our lives to give to someone or something, or we are giving someone or something a reason to have to give to us, if that makes sense. So you think about with your parents, and say you're living at home and you come home and you sit down at the dinner table and you're waiting for dinner and you're expecting your parents to have cooked your meal for you to give that to you. Okay, so you're giving them a reason to have to give to you in some way. And it's just, when you think about this, you're always giving. We are always giving. It doesn't stop until we're dead. And so with that said, when we are giving the best within us, when we are able to give of our talents and to give of every unique thing that's been put within us, when we're able to use that to pour into other people and to affect other people positively around us, that's when we find our ultimate purpose, and that is when we truly are able to love ourselves. And, I think about this scripture: idle hands are the devil's workshop. It is the devil's workshop. It makes sense. When we're not being productive, when we're not using our lives to give, in the way that we were meant to, then that's when we can get derailed. That's when we can get sidetracked. That's when we start thinking in our mind that we have no purpose, and that's when we get lazy. And that's how the enemy attacks our confidence right there, by making us think that we don't have a purpose, by making us think that our lives are not useful, and that no one is receiving anything from us that is worthy. And so I would say that if you don't feel like you love yourself, if you don't feel like you have a lot of confidence in yourself, a starting point would be to go give to someone in some way. It could be by your money. I would encourage that it be more by your time. So go spend time serving. And it could be, it doesn't just have to be in the way that we automatically associate serving within a soup kitchen or with the homeless, which it can be. That's absolutely wonderful. But it could be maybe with your mom. It could be go on a shopping trip with her if she loves to go shopping. It could be help her in the kitchen, cooking a meal. With your dad, I don't know. If just spend time, just go give of yourself in something, doing something that doesn't have to just do with you, that doesn't just have to do with you benefiting from it in some way. And, when we are able to do that, when we are able to just go give and not expect anything in return, I guarantee you that is when you are going to feel the most value. You will receive the biggest thing that you could ever receive, and that is a sense of worth and a sense of pride in knowing that you used your life in those seconds or those minutes or those hours of that day. You used your life in the way that you were intended to. And so give. Go and give and watch how it brings out the best in others and how that comes back to you and in turn brings out the best in you. It's an amazing cycle. It's how we were wired, and it makes sense and it works. So that's all for The Secret Place. Just a short message today, but I challenge you to go give of yourself in some way. Oh, one final thing. That's why they say, you hear all the time, money doesn't buy happiness, or rich cars, or, you could have all the things in the world and still not be happy. And I think this is where this comes from, because those things, you can be very happy with those things when you use them to give to others. But it's when we take those kinds of things just with the intention of keeping them for ourselves, for selfish reasons, that's when they don't bring happiness to us. And that's because they have to be intended to pour out onto other people and to give in some way or another. And then it does bring happiness, because that's what we were meant to do. So that's all. Thanks for joining me in The Secret Place, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.